I'll react if I had to, put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to. Soundstripe. I'll react if I had to, put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to, yeah. React if you have to, yeah. Don't know the time, yeah. Just know that I'm, yeah, one of a kind, yeah. What's on your mind, yeah. Well, hard to find, yeah. Beautiful mind, yeah. Still in my prime, yeah. Just know that I'm here.
What's good, y'all? 2-3 Soul Kicks. I'm back today for I think a special video. I'm going to kind of talk about different things, not just sneakers. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the culture, the influences of the culture, music, art, fashion, dance, how everything came together to kind of create this culture that we all love and enjoy today. Going back to 1984, 1985. 84, I was a freshman in high school. And it's kind of when everything was really starting to come about. The music, art, fashion, trying to break dance in my parents' driveway. I had the Sheila linoleum. I had the Puma, suede Pumas with the fat laces, Kango, everything. It was different. It kind of, as I grew up, more people, were kind of put together. Groups were combined, cultures. Everything, a lot of things were changing during that time period, and I'm appreciative for the change. I got to experience a lot of different things I didn't know when I first was growing up, and as time went on, especially like 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, the culture was really starting to explode with music and fashion and everything like that. And especially by the time I got to high school, it was even more bigger at that point. Going back in the time machine, groups like Sugar Hill Gang, I'll play the music too. Big influence in my life. Kind of when I fell in love with hip-hop rap music, kind of when it started for me. Late 70s, this came out 77, 78. It's kind of changed everything for me. Once I heard this album, there's really no looking back. Then this is the first run I had on this Beastie Boys tour show. As I was fortunate enough to go to see this concert back in 87, and I thought I was going just to see the Beastie Boys, but the opening show, the opening act for the Beastie Boys was Public Enemy, and that again changed everything again for me. It was amazing to hear that type of music. It was very different. Talk more political, really things that were happening in the community, the injustices that were going on. So it really opened up my eyes and a lot of people's eyes to a lot of things were going on. And then I fell in love with Public Enemy, and I loved the Beastie Boys. And then you kind of had, at that time period with the music, East Coast, West Coast. You had Biggie, Tupac, and the music kind of just kept growing and growing to where we are. And we just celebrated 50 years of hip hop. Going forward today, like Jay-Z is my favorite artist. But there's so many other artists that, I got to love. The 80s were a really different, amazing time. So many changes. I feel fortunate that I got immersed in that culture, got immersed in the life through, like I said, the fashion, the music, the dance, the art. I basically fell in love with all of it. And then at the same time period, it's like the perfect storm. Then you had Michael Jordan coming out of UNC, going to the Chicago Bulls. And then you have what, kind of why I'm here, is I feel one of the, I think it's the perfect sneaker. The Jordan 1 comes out back in 84 was for him. It wasn't released to the public until 1985. So then you had this silhouette. This is actually the Chicago 1 Lost and Found, and I was fortunate enough to be able to get one pair of these. I love what they did with it. I love how the sole, the collar and sole, it looks aged. Like if you were to have a box from 1985 and you open it up and you know how they deteriorate, kind of gave you that look of that weathered, aged look from sitting around for a long time. I love what they did with the sole. I love what they did with everything on this sneaker. They did a great job. And they've done other versions of the original Jordan 1 Chicago's, and they're wonderful too. But like I kind of said in a different video, I always wanted to the Jordan 1 growing up, and I wasn't fortunate enough to get one at that time period. So fast forward to where I am today, I'm a little bit older, and I was finally able to get this one, and I just love it. I've worn it a couple times more around the house because I don't want to mess it up. But again, this became, it always has been my favorite silhouette of the Jordan 1s, and there's so many obviously to choose from, but this one here in particular, I find it to be the perfect shoe. It's absolutely beautiful. I love what Nike and Jordan did with that. So you have this time period where you have rap hip hop kind of coming out. You have the art. You have different artists, which I'm going to talk about later, coming to the forefront. A lot of it was street art, graffiti, tagging things, and how they became into like mainstream America. It was a culture switch. It was a whole thought process switch. And it was a time where America needed that switch. And I love that there was this change. And it opened us up to so many more things that, we never really experienced. The music, and throughout my video, I'll try to drop some B-roll and kind of show you some of the music from that time, the break dancing, things like that, some of the fashion. I'm going to show you some of the artists that I fell in love with that I didn't even know during at that time how popular they were, but as I've grown older, I've come to love different artists in the art form. And it's just so many different things that I'm glad to kind of be able to talk to you guys about, show you how things influence, not just me, but if you're watching this video, probably a lot of us it's influenced. And I think it's influenced in a positive way. The country needed to change, and we got to change. And I'm appreciative of that change that we have today. A big part of this whole sneaker world, I found, it's the community. It's the people I've met some wonderful people along the way. And that's the big thing I like. It's like a common bond that we all share. And then there's the movies. There's so many great movies that came out during that time period to help kind of show what was going on the streets. The one I have to my right, Beat Street. If you ever had a chance to see Beat Street, it's a really good movie that kind of shows you how breakdancing, DJing, the mixing, everything that was going on, how people kind of try to basically, they walked around. I had a buddy who actually was a DJ, and I remember the milk crates with all the albums and helping them set up to DJ, the 2 turntables, microphone, all that, because the DJ was basically like the conductor, if you see of an orchestra. The DJ was the center, the quarterback of the show, the conductor, so to speak. And I remember like helping him get set up. And in these movies like Beat Street, Breaking 1, Breaking 2, kind of show the culture, not just the fashion, because there's a lot of fashion, street art, a lot of tagging during that time, street art. It shows a lot of different things and how the influence, and it was really tough in the beginning. A lot of mainstream America, and they fought against kind of change. People don't generally like change, and this was like a big shift in the culture. Then you fast forward to there's other movies. Do the Right Thing with Spike Lee. That was Spike Lee produced movie, great movie, and that's another introduction of Public Enemy and their music. There was an adjustment period too. But I love that I was able to be exposed to the different music, the fashion, sports, entertainment, like all of it. It helped mold me into the person I am today. And I feel to be a richer person because of it. I'm appreciative of my childhood, of the diversity that I was surrounded around. And, it helped me become hopefully a better man today and in my life going forward. And that's kind of I want to show you. Yeah, I'm going to talk to you about sneakers, show you sneakers, but I want to kind of tie it into the way I was raised, things I experienced. Because I feel it's like a good story that should be told. Maybe I'm giving a little bit of a different perspective than we generally see in a lot of like YouTube videos and things out there like that. And I just want to kind of bring that to you. My first love, passion is always going to be sneakers. I'm always going to try to show you what I think that I find to be an awesome pair. But there's so many different ones. I mean, there's no, we all have our favorite sneaker. We all have our favorite music, style of clothes and things like that. I just want to kind of show you what helped mold me into the person I am today. And it's pretty cool. Like, I see it kind of carried on with my children, especially my daughter. She's become a little older now, and it's almost like my influence or the things that I enjoyed. I see her, the music, the fashion. She's becoming a bit of a sneakerhead and going in that direction too. And I think that's wonderful for the next generation to carry it on. We made it to the 50-year mark, but hopefully going forward, there's another 50 years. It was the art world too. You had artists that lived during that time, especially in the late 70s, early 80s. Artists like Basquiat and Andy Warhol. And Basquiat is one of my favorite artists that I have. And I have a book that's really a wonderful book of his. That shows a lot of his artwork. Now, during that time period, Basquiat, he wasn't going by Basquiat. He did a lot of his tagging, did a lot of graffiti, and his tag was SAMO, S-A-M-O. He would tag a lot of his artwork throughout the streets of New York City. During that time, the late 70s, early 80s, when hip-hop and everything was coming together. And he wasn't as famous as he is now. He's since passed away at a young age, but his art lives on. His work is incredible. If you don't know him, you should check him out. This book is wonderful because it has a lot of his artwork in it. If you've never seen it, this is a great book to get. And like I was saying, he started off tagging things in New York City. He signed it SAMO. And he moved on. He actually hooked up, like I said, with Andy Warhol. And he started doing more and more very large. He would almost use any medium that he could paint on, whether it was canvas or paper. He would use doors of an apartment. He would use just about anything he could find to get his art out there. And again, I would definitely look into Jean-Michel Basquiat. His work is wonderful. He's my favorite artist, as I was saying. And he was during that time period with Warhol and a lot of other artists that were kind of creating this culture. And it was almost like it just happened. I don't think it was done on purpose. It was all happening at the same time. It was like the perfect storm of art. The music was starting. The fashion that went with the breakdancing and all that stuff, and how everyone dressed, and the sneakers with the fat laces. And then you go forward a little bit more, then Jordan breaks into the league, and Nike, and they come up with this. I think it's the perfect sneaker. And I know there's a lot of beautiful sneakers out there, and I'll be the first to admit there's a lot of sneakers that are beautiful. So in my mind, like, everything happened. It was like the perfect storm of everything coming together at the same time. And like I said, little by little, we had movies that were coming out that helped show kind of what was going on during that time. A lot of us didn't live right in New York City where music started, like hip-hop, not music, but hip-hop started in the Bronx. So it was able to kind of fast forward and then spread out, little by little throughout the country. Then you had the East Coast, West Coast hip-hop music, and you had a lot of like Biggie, Tupac, and it just kept growing. Now you have guys like Jay-Z, who's one of my favorite. There's so many wonderful hip-hop artists out there, rap, and it just keeps growing. And that's the beauty of how it started as an expression of what was going on in neighborhoods. It was a way out. It was a way to be an individual, and how it just kept blossoming until 50 years of hip-hop and what we have today. Again, if you get a chance, check out Basquiat's work. It's beautiful. And I think it all really ties in to this culture that I'm happy and proud to be a part of. A lot of it was that time period gave hope to a better life, to a better way, a way to express ourselves that, mainstream America was kind of a cookie cutter type thing. Then all of a sudden, this beautiful culture began. Like I said, kind of by accident. And little by little, it kind of pieced together. And a lot of us found our place. And I feel like I found my place in it. And I'm proud of it. So again, I'm going to show you some more. I appreciate your time. I'm a sneaker, try to, talk about sneakers and things like that. And I did. Showed you my favorite pair, the Jordan 1 Lost and Founds. The original colorway. It wasn't the original sneaker he wore, so don't forget, when he first started, this wasn't ready. So he actually wore the Airship when he first started playing. So if you look back in the early pictures of Jordan, he didn't have on these yet, because he started with the Airships because these weren't quite ready. But soon after, he went into these, and he wore the breads, and then they were banned, and, and all the different stories, and how this, every year the sneaker went to the ones, the twos, the threes. Like, like I said before, the first 14 silhouettes, like, I really like. My favorite 1, 2, 3, 4s. I like the 5s a lot. But again, now we're up to number 38 has come out, and it's incredible. And I think the 38s are really cool. They kind of are finding their way back. 37s I thought were kind of neat. The 38s seem more of that classic basketball sneaker again, which is nice to see. So it's just it's all coming full circle, and I'm proud to be a part of it. I'm proud to try to show you and express to you like what I lived during that time period, because again, I felt I was right there. All my buddies and people I grew up with, I learned a lot from, and I fell in love with this culture. And that's it. I'll be back again. If you want, in the comment box, maybe tell me your favorite silhouette of Jordans. If you get a chance, try to watch the movies Breaking 1, 2, and Beat Street, and maybe some of your favorite music that you enjoyed during that time and still listen to this day. I appreciate your time. If you like my video, please smash the like button. If you want to subscribe, I'd appreciate that. And thank you for your time.
I am not a hero, and I am not a hero, and I am not your one, yeah, and I'm not your Neo, and I am not a hero, yeah, and I'm not a hero. Too many nights, yeah, not feeling right, yeah, too many